coming up to 11 minutes past 11. What's your favourite breed of dog? Now, you may recall last week I found myself at Birmingham Dogs Home, messing around with 3 members of the Warwickshire County cricket team and their dogs, including the wonderful Frank the Tank, who is the dog of wicketkeeper Tim Ambrose, and he's a puggle, which is a cross between a pug and a beagle. And he's a real character. He's got dodgy knees, but he's a real character. And given somebody who had a fear of dogs, I really quite enjoyed it. And indeed, Mandy, who was giving me a bit of a coaching course before I went last Thursday, now reckons I should get a Cavachon, which is a cross between a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel and a Bichon Frise, apparently. But that in itself could be something of a problem, because one or two of the iconic breeds are starting to struggle a little bit. The Kennel Club says the Old English Sheepdog might be under threat. It's added the Dulux dog to its at-watch list as the number of breeders is dropping. Caroline Kisko is from the Kennel Club and joins us now. Morning, Caroline.
Good morning.
This is a real concern, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. When you look at the sort of breeds that we're talking about, breeds that were really well known. I mean, the Scottish Terrier, for goodness sake, the Scottie. Where did they disappear to? But the difficulty, of course, is that we have changing lifestyles, so those breeds don't necessarily fit with modern lifestyles, but also there is this element of fashion involved, where things like the Cockapoo and the Labradoodle, they are now far more common than many of our old breeds, and where people think that maybe they're being fashionable, young, unusual, actually they're not. They're following the herd, because that's where a huge market is disappearing to.
So the danger is that the pure breeds that we know and love are really going down in numbers. Some, not all. The really well-known breeds, like the Labrador and so on, remain very high in numbers, very, very popular, great family pets, great family completion almost, if you like, because they fit so well with everyone's lifestyle. But some of the breeds that we think of as being very much part of the landscape are disappearing, or at least are reducing hugely in numbers to a very worrying extent. I mean, the Old English Sheepdog is such a talisman, really, isn't it? When you think
absolutely.
about it, maybe if they were still making lots of paint commercials, it wouldn't be so under threat.
Well, I suppose, but they remain, breeds generally remain quite popular for advertisers. There are lots and lots of advertisements that use particular breeds, but they don't necessarily then translate into puppy sales, which actually is a good thing, because I wouldn't want people to be buying a puppy just because they've seen it on the telly. And of course that does happen with certain dogs and certain breeds, particularly when there's a celebrity attached to them. What we really need people to do is to do their research properly before they buy any dog. So whether they want a crossbreed, or they want something unusual, or they want the general, I don't mean this rudely, but family pet, they need to make sure they buy the right dog for their lifestyle. And at the same time as you're seeing something like the Old English Sheepdog going down, we're seeing some of the husky type breeds like the Siberian Husky and the Alaskan Malamute going up in numbers, purely on the back of something like the Game of Thrones, which is absolutely the wrong reason to buy a dog.
Trendiness is never a good cause, is it, really,
no.
when it comes to this? I mean, it's an interesting situation, isn't it? Because you do see crossbreeds is the nice way of putting it. We'd have called them mongrels not so long ago.
Well, no, actually, we make a differentiation there. The Cavapoo, the Cavachon, the Labradoodle, blah blah, they are direct breed crosses between two breeds, so they are a cross of two breeds, and people imagine that they're going to get the best of both breeds, or they're going to get a very specific look to the dog that has been crossed, as if it was a breed. But of course it isn't, and you can get the good points of one, the bad points of the other. You don't necessarily get the perfect dog, which of course is why the pedigree dog, the purebred dog, is so important still, because you know exactly what you're going to be getting. In the mongrel is very much the dog that was mixed breeds, lots and lots of different breeds in there that could come out any old way in the end.
Oh, okay.
But they are very few and far between now, because our dogs are not street dogs anymore.
See, I'm not going to dog ownership anytime soon. I'm only I'm trying to learn not to be scared of dogs at the age of 49. And my experience at Birmingham, my experience at Birmingham Dogs Home last Thursday was great. Having received a little bit of coaching that day, and so then being sent the picture of a Cavachon saying, "Oh, this is the dog that would suit you now." I'm thinking, well, yeah, incredibly cute.
Yeah.
But that's not the whole story.
And you won't necessarily get the same cross output that somebody else has had. So if you're crossing the Cavalier and the Bichon, which I assume is what it is, you won't get the same puppy or the same characteristics or even looks that somebody else will get from that cross, because it's a cross. So far better that you either go for a Cavalier or a Bichon or something else which is far more predictable, which particularly with somebody who's had a fear of dogs in the past, you actually do want to know exactly what it is you're going to be getting. So something like either a trip to Crufts in March or to Discover Dogs in London in October to see all of the breeds and talk to the owners, find out really an awful lot about each breed and the breeds that will suit you best. And that's the sort of thing that you should be doing, or anybody else for that matter. Find out first.
If the temptation takes me, then that's what I should do. Just finally, in terms of the Old English Sheepdog, what can be done to encourage more people to breed it and bring the numbers back up?
Well, of course it's a question of supply and demand. There will be people out there who would like to buy an Old English but can't necessarily get one because the numbers that are being bred are low, but equally the breeders won't breed them on spec. They need to know that people actually want them. So the best thing to do is to get in touch with one of the Old English Sheepdog clubs. They're all listed on the Kennel Club website, and say to the club, I'm really interested in getting one, who do I go to? And they'll put you in touch with somebody who is thinking about breeding, and you just have to be patient.
That's good advice. Caroline, thanks so much for taking some time out to talk to us today. Caroline Kisko from the Kennel Club there, and hopefully we will see the Old English Sheepdog survive this current threat.